Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. All the stuff we did not get to during the course of the show today. We just got a little bit of a late start because Gavin and I were nerding out over F1 racing. And I thought Betty was working, and she was just being very kind and patient, letting us talk about racing. Over the weekend, we'll talk about some weekend stuff. I went and bought a desk from someone on Facebook Marketplace, and it's a racing-inspired desk. So I asked the guy where he got it, because it's like this red glass desk, and it's got like, you know, kind of like racing struts on it and like shock absorbers and stuff. It's a themed desk. And so I go and I buy this desk from this guy, and he's pulling out like racing stuff out of his garage and stuff. So there is a family of people that love racing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, where did you get this? And he's like, oh, I got it when I was a kid. So he's had it for like 10 years, 15 years.
And how old was he?
He's like 26. He got it when he was like a kid. And
So you got a kid desk?
I did, yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, no, it's not a kid desk. Wait until you hear this, Gavin. You'll care. Betty won't. He went to a race at Atlanta Motorsports Speedway, and Ferrari was there, and they had a booth, and so he ended up buying a desk from the Ferrari booth, and they shipped it to him.
What?
And so
Is that the red?
that's why it's red. Yeah, and I'm like, this is awesome.
It's pretty dope.
And so he was like, yeah, it was great as a kid. I really loved it. And I'm like, as a 56-year-old guy, it's great.
Yeah,
Are
what
you
are we
kidding me?
talking about?
I'm like, let's load this sucker up before you change your mind when you see how excited I am.
Yeah, you got it like right before racing season starts
Yeah.
here. In time to watch Drive to Survive on Netflix.
Yeah.
Great show about F1.
Yeah.
Good timing.
It was an F1 weekend for me because I watched 2 episodes of Drive to Survive. I went to the Lego store and they had, because I'm a Red Bull fan, and so they had the new Red Bull cars out. Because do you know why they didn't have Red Bull cars at Lego Rock? They've had Ferrari, McLaren, all the others. Because you got us cars to build as well. Mm-hmm. Have you built yours yet?
Yeah.
Nice.
Sure.
So she got them for us for Christmas. So do you know why they didn't have a Red Bull car?
Nope.
Do you care about why they didn't have a
I want you to care.
Can you please for a second?
What? Why?
Because it's not anything you would think.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Just
tell me.
Okay, when we get to your
Mind
weekend,
blown.
remind me to be very disinterested as well, okay? So thank you.
You're welcome.
They don't do it because they wouldn't license it. Lego wouldn't license it because Red Bull is an energy drink company, and they can't market energy drinks to kids.
What?
And so they wouldn't. That's what's held them up this whole time.
What?
I know. I don't even think
That is crazy.
Okay, I don't like you now.
I mean,
I don't-
crazy.
Do you think of Red Bull, Gavin, as an energy drink? Do you ever think about that?
Wow.
Yeah. That's like that's where I start. That's probably I knew you're right. Inherently, I start with racing.
Yeah.
But the drink is not far behind.
I never think of the Red Bull drinks because I don't like them. I think they taste like medicine. And so for me, the Red Bull is just synonymous with racing and extreme sports and things like that. I had no idea. But so they figured it out, which is good because there's a giant Lego car. It's about this big. And it's a F1 Lego car. Mm-hmm. And my wife has already told me she's getting me that for Father's Day.
That's awesome.
I'm very excited.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about your weekend, Rock, and I'll be just as excited.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm used to it. I'm used to people disrespecting me.
Oh.
So, but you did take a trip for the company.
Yeah, we missed you for a day last week.
Yeah, and then Gavin was on a golf thing. We got to get to that
We'll
as
get
well.
there.
Yeah.
So you went and saw Daniel, the
Was it Daniel?
musical. Yeah.
Is that
David.
the same one you saw?
You saw David?
I saw David.
I thought you said Daniel.
We keep
It was
having
between
this
the two.
conversation.
Yeah. Uma Oprah. Okay, so you saw David, not
Yes.
Daniel. So
No.
Daniel is still at their other theater up in Lancaster, and then they have a theater in Branson. So you went to Branson and you saw David.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I haven't seen that one. Was it good?
Yeah, it was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I was super impressed.
You've never been to a Broadway show before, have you?
No, I've seen Aladdin in New York.
Oh, you did. That's right. You and Joy went.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the scale of Aladdin,
It's cool.
like the one that I saw was
Yeah.
on par with that.
Definitely, and I would agree with that because they had Samson
Yeah.
in this one, and he was a huge animatronic thing.
Oh, it wasn't a real dude?
No.
Oh, you mean-
But-
you mean
when I
Goliath?
say and when I say animatronic, you're probably thinking,
Goliath.
"Oh boy." No, I was shook to my core.
Really?
Like
Really?
it was.
It looked really good.
Cool.
Amazing. But on top of that, I went to a local breakfast place and I got a 14-inch pancake that was
Yeah.
as
Oh,
big as my
what?
face.
Nice.
Your face
Wonderful.
is huge.
Nice. Your face is huge. That had to be a
And
big pancake.
I went to the Butterfly Palace. That was a lot of
Was
fun.
that
Where they hand
the-
you like a fake flower that has a mixture of Gatorade and water inside.
Yeah.
And the butterflies come
Oh,
and
that's
land
fun.
on it.
Oh, that's fun.
And then we went to the Titanic Museum, and
They
they give
have one
you
of those
the
in there too.
yeah, they give you the
I saw that
identity
yesterday.
of a passenger that really was on the Titanic,
Yeah.
and you find out at the end if you died.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Guess what? I
You
died.
died, yeah.
Did you get to feel the cold water and
Yes.
how cold it was?
I can only be in there for like maybe 15
You
seconds.
put your hand
and then
in
I
there.
was out.
Oh.
Oh, you put.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Where did you
Like,
go to one?
There's one in Gatlinburg too.
Oh,
So
okay.
they have like a tub of water that they
Yeah.
keep it at the temperature that the ice water
30
was.
something degrees.
Yeah, and they ask you to
freezing.
time yourself to see how long you could be in that water, and I was
Oh.
like 15 seconds, and I was
And
out.
that's just your hand. Like you put
Yeah.
your whole body in there.
Yeah.
I did a cold plunge type thing in Iceland. I could make it like 30 seconds, and then I was like, I got to get out. It hurt.
rough.
Yeah, that was.
rough.
I'm going to the Titanic Museum in Northern Ireland when Haley gets married.
Because they built it in.
They
Ireland.
built it,
Yeah.
and so I'm going to a place where they built part of it. So I hope they have the water thing there. If they don't, I'm going to tell
I was
them.
gonna say, 'cause
hey, you should do
this-
the water thing.
This one's a smidge gimmicky. The
Yeah.
whole museum. I love the identity thing though. That's a fun little game.
Yeah.
Yours definitely sounds like it'll be a true.
Yeah,
museum.
where they built it and stuff. So yeah, it should be kind of cool. Yeah, Sight and Sound is the Christian company that does the Broadway style theatrical plays. So David should be finishing up there because they do one a year all year long. And so I'm going to be in Branson for Christmas, it turns out.
Oh,
We're not going to Florida this year. Apparently, we're all doing Branson for some reason.
really?
Yeah, like
That's so random.
which is fine for me because I didn't want to do
is.
Disney again for Christmas, and so Michelle, future mother-in-law for Haley, for I don't know why she wanted to go to Branson for some reason. So I'm like, okay, and so she's looking at a place there because Spencer doesn't have to. He's not going to be working at Disney anymore, so he doesn't have to be there. So we could go anywhere for Christmas, so which I'm like really excited about. And so maybe I'll get tickets to the Sight and Sound and take them to see the story of David because
Yeah.
it's really well done.
Oh, yeah. And my biggest question was because they have real animals there.
Yes.
And I was like, how do they do that? Because there's carpet on the floors.
Yeah.
And like, they're going to poop.
yeah.
And they said that they have people that come down the aisles and sweep it all up. And sure enough, it might have been linguini. That was the sheep that I met. But I don't know. It was just amazing that they had llamas, camels, horses. They had it all. And it was
It's
all
a spectacle,
happening.
man.
Yeah, it was really well done.
Yeah, that's one of those things, and the animals come through the crowd
Yeah.
while you're sitting there
They
and
had
stuff.
birds. They released birds. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's really well done. If you ever get a chance to go to Lancaster or Branson, I think Silver Dollar City is there too. I think
Silver Dollar City.
I think it's like an amusement park, and like the in-laws were like, "Oh, this is really fun. You'll like it." So I think that's why we're going. So anyway, I'm excited about going to Branson, and I would definitely want to see this. Gavin goes on a golf weekend with a 6-month-old now. How old?
Yeah.
Okay, so 6 months old. Gavin leaves his wife,
Ugh.
goes on a golf thing.
Gavin.
My wife, my first question Marty
no.
asked when I
Oh,
told
no.
her, I said, yeah, Gavin's on a golf trip. Oh, did Haley go with him? No, he went by himself. How did he do that? Yes. I think all of us want to know, how did you
he
do
do
that?
She gave me clearance for it.
Yeah, she's amazing.
No. I do not. I don't lose sight
You don't deserve her.
of that. No, I
Wow.
don't. I don't deserve
That
this weekend.
escalated.
Let's go with that.
No,
at
her
least.
at all.
So it was a very simple conversation because I had a buddy who had a golf trip last year.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'd love to do one of those someday. And she said, oh, like you can do one this year. I was like, oh, that's super
So great.
cool. And she's like, I'd rather you do it before he gets too much older.
Okay.
So that, by the time he is running amok, walking, doing all
Right.
the things, it's like, I want you to go while he's still a controllable substance.
Yeah.
Or, just like a very, he moves a good bit now, but like he still is manageable on her end. She's like, I don't want you to be doing this when he would be a tantrum of
Right.
a guy who can walk but also doesn't know what he's doing.
Sure.
I don't want you to do it then. So we planned it for this last weekend.
That's amazing.
And
She even
so-
bought you guys socks, I think.
She
and
bought us group socks,
Nice.
trophies for first, second, third, and fourth
Nice. I
place.
love that.
Killing it.
She surprised me with berets, little golf berets. We'll probably share some photos of those at some point.
Please.
But those were so funny. She told me not to open the Amazon packages.
Yeah.
I knew everybody's socks.
Yeah.
I didn't know those were in there.
That's really
that
funny.
that was genuinely funny. But I will say this, in my defense. So I left. We all met together at my house around 4 on Friday.
AM?
8 a.m. I took.
Oof.
Oh no. Oh PM.
PM.
Sorry.
Oh.
I took Friday.
You took
off
Friday off. Yeah.
Okay.
so that Haley could go and do her work thing and not be, encumbered by baby stuff. So I
Sure.
took that day off and I hustled. I mean, like we're talking with the baby in tow, house vacuumed, bottles washed, baby washed,
Yeah.
bed changed, clothes folded, dishes done, dogs taken care of, trash, baby trash.
She might send you away more often. Like, if you're going to be that productive.
I set her up. I literally, even on our coffee counter, I set out 2 mugs with 2 tea bags that were in front of them so that she could very easily make the tea she wanted. in the
There you
morning.
go.
I set her up super, super well.
Yeah.
So that while I shopped for her, Hot Pockets,
Nice.
breakfast burritos.
I left her with Hot Pockets. I figured she'd be okay.
That's what she asked for. She
I
was
love it.
great.
She was so
I
well
love Hot
set up.
Pockets.
They're delicious. I had 2. She was so well set up.
I left her half a Hot Pocket.
a 14-pack. I ate 13.
Oh my gosh.
No,
Wow.
that was her crazy pregnancy phase. She loves those things. But
Oh,
she's not
really?
pregnant, by the way. But I set her up really well. I took off, and then I got home around 3:30 yesterday. So I was gone for 48 hours,
Okay.
but she only had 1 full actual day without me.
Okay. Well, you
So-
did good. I mean, but again, that's just nice of her to do that because like you can be
Absolutely.
overwhelmed and you're in it as a team early on, especially. And so the fact that she let you do that, nice, good on her.
And it's tough. I've always been someone who encourages her to
sure,
go
but
out and
but
do
she
things.
won't.
She's not as, she just doesn't lean towards that.
Right.
I'm an initiator with my friends.
Right.
She's not.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's-
See, my
it's
wife is the same way.
harder for her to be the one to leave us when I'm like, it'd make me feel better if you did.
Yeah, I know, but
'Cause that
then
makes-
but they won't because then they still don't. At some point, they still in the back of their minds don't fully trust you to
It's probably smart.
babysit. And yeah, you get it.
So
It's not. I mean, I lost my kid one time, so it's not unfounded.
Wow.
She fell asleep behind a door playing hide and seek.
that's her fault.
Because I was like, let's play hide and seek, and I was working. And so like I would kind of be like, I can't find you, and I'm still working. And then like an hour goes by, I cannot find this kid anywhere. She fell asleep behind a bathroom door, and I literally was like, I was getting ready to call the cops. Like I was so afraid that I'd lost her. But anyway, that's why my wife probably wouldn't leave either. All right, let's get into some of the stuff we didn't get to on the show here. Gene Hackman, this story got really weird. Gene Hackman and his wife both died. He's 95 and she was
I think
60 something?
60.
65 maybe?
Yeah, there was a big age gap there.
Yeah, there was. And so what they figure and what they theorize happened is that she actually died first before him. Like he died of like hypertensive cardiovascular disease and he had Alzheimer's. But she died of this weird pulmonary syndrome called the hantavirus. And so they think that she passed away a week before him because she had medicine there and stuff and was in her bathroom. And if he's got Alzheimer's, he might not have even known.
Right.
You know?
And he couldn't take care of himself. They
Right.
did do an autopsy and they said that his stomach was empty, so he probably
Oh.
wasn't eating.
Yeah.
And that's just so sad.
That is sad.
To be
What-
95 and not know what to do.
Yeah, and to go from that, like, you're this big Hollywood actor that you can't even do. Alzheimer's and dementia is like one of the saddest diseases to me because like when you just stop recognizing people, and then I've always wondered like, how does it kill you? Well, I guess maybe you forget to eat too. I don't know. But her issue was this virus that 4 out of 10 people, when they get it, what was it? The syndrome is nearly fatal for 4 in 10 people affected with it. Like
But
that's
it's so
crazy.
rare.
It's very rare, but it causes flu-like symptoms, and so you're not sure. I got the flu. I got the flu. I got the flu, and then I'm dead.
But you get the hantavirus from a rodent, is
Yeah.
what they said. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure how she got it, like an infected rodent. You either had to come across its saliva,
Oh, really? I wonder if she got bit by something.
urine, or
That's
feces.
weird. Oh, yikes!
Yeah, but it's just odd because they said they lived in a really nice
Yeah.
mansion. Like, I don't know how she got a hold of that.
I don't know. Remember COVID? The bat story. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's crazy. This was another weird story. There was a guy, and I'm curious where you guys land on this. Okay, so this guy escaped a Puerto Rican prison nearly 40 years ago. They just caught him in Florida, and so he had been convicted of like a robbery and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Okay, so he didn't kill anybody, but it was battery. But it was 40 years ago, and so he's lived under the radar for that many years. If someone lived for 40 years, say he did this in his 20s, now he's 60-something, lived for 40 years with no record, like he did nothing wrong the rest of his life, he, was never arrested again, and never didn't commit a crime. At that point, you go, all right, we're going to forget this even happened. You've rehabilitated yourself. Because the point of prison is to rehabilitate you. It's not just to give you a timeout. The point is to rehabilitate you. So if living under the auspices of being an escaped criminal made him continue to live a good life, then the justice was served, kind of thing.
But tell that to the victim's family.
That's the problem with it, because there wasn't murder. Like, murder has no statute of limitations. But like a battery, there is a statute of limitations. After such and such a time, it wears off, or it goes away, and so you're not legally bound anymore. I guess the prison escape, there's no statute of limitations for that. But yeah, I always see these stories. I'm kind of like, man, I think I'd have a weird tendency, unless the family was like, yes, he did this horrible thing. I've lived with it for 40 years. My life has been destroyed. You have to weigh that in. But if they were like, yeah, we moved on, it's all right. I think I'd be like, yeah.
But I think that's what's the safety for the prison time, because then the jury or the judge has to make a decision on, well, is this jail time worthy,
right,
or is this not jail time worthy? Like, it brings in another factor. So I would say no, he needs prison time.
Really? Because the other part of this is, let me throw this other part of this out. You say
he got to live his life.
Yeah, that's true. He did get to live his life, but you say that would they have to make a decision on probation? Like, so they're in there and their time comes up, and then they have to look at what he did in prison and go, well, you didn't get in many fights or what have you, and so we think you're done. And then they go out and then they commit another crime, and then they're right back in recidivism and stuff like that. But if you've got somebody that has lived 40 years without committing another crime, you already have a proof positive case that they were rehabilitated. And so that's where I think is
but then
you're not guessing. You're like,
but then
oh,
similar
you
cases could be like, well, use that as an example of like, well, I don't need it. I can deal with my time. Like,
and
by
is
myself.
That justice?
It's not justice. No,
you guys,
yeah.
I think I fall. I'm more grace evolved than you guys. I think.
No.
Yeah, I think
if you saw his face potties, you would know that he is full of it.
To the people who much grace has been given, much grace is doled out. Like because I understand the need for grace, and so I think I'm more willing to give it
Sure.
than maybe you, who are very litigious and legalistic. So, okay, what do you got?
Well, this should get interesting. Dating apps are already horrible to begin with.
Oh, for sure.
Because people can put up a photo of themselves like probably 10, 20 years ago, and then they show up and you're like, wow, that's not even close.
Not the same person.
But now Tinder and Hinge are the first to incorporate a AI dating wingman. So if you're one of those people that needs somebody or something to speak into your profile,
sure,
you now have an artificial intelligence wingman. So it'll come with your profile, and it will help with, quote, flirting,
okay,
writing messages back and forth, choosing the best photos, and writing for your profile.
I know you don't want to get back online, but I really wish you would do this just so I could see how good it was.
Oh my gosh, no way.
I would love to see AI teach you to flirt. Oh, I'd love that.
Please. There's 60.5 million users currently in America on dating apps. That is a lot.
I wonder what the men to women
breakdown is. Yeah. But shocking to me. But you have to also keep in mind that some people that have profiles are not single. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
That's terrible.
And so some people are saying if there is an AI wingman now that's going to help you with writing, photos, flirting, all this stuff, you're even far greater to match with someone and then meet in person than they're nothing like themselves.
Right.
Because
Or you're not like yourself.
yeah, like a computer was making
Right.
you witty. A computer was
Right.
making you ask the right questions. And then you're wasting your time if you meet up with someone and they're nothing like they were online.
Yep.
It's just another ridiculous scenario.
Yeah, I think that is very valid. Like when I would put together radio demos back in the day to get jobs and stuff, you want to like try to sanitize it and pick all these things, and you just clip out the things that make you look good, and so that someone will hire you. But if you're cherry picking and you really didn't create all this great content and this was a highlight but you did nothing for the rest of the week, then it's like I always thought that was problematic. Like for me, I used to like to send people stuff that was true to life so that when I walked in that door to meet with them, I don't have to feel guilty or worried. Will they discover that I'm not as funny as I was because I made it funny on the tape? Like I wanted them to get a real snapshot of what they were getting and what they were buying so that no one had buyer's remorse.
But I think the further we get into this AI thing, it's already difficult enough as it is for dating. But if this keeps going on, people just won't know how to communicate
won't know how to do
one-on-one
anything
with people. It'll have to be through a computer, and already that's tough as it is. I just don't think this is a good idea at all. But that's the reason why I'm staying off of them. So.
Yeah, it's understandable. I totally get that.
And it's terrible anyway.
Yeah. What do you have for birthdays?
I do. I have birthdays.
I love birthdays.
On. Let me get to them.
Happy birthday from all of us. You, wish your birthday so we can party too. Hey.
Aaron is celebrating a birthday. Celebrated a birthday yesterday.
Nice.
Said, I am a wife, mother, and physical therapist who loves reading, running, and cats.
Oof.
My family, not
Running. Was oof. Not cats. I love cats.
Okay. My family always visits cat cafes when we travel. So
wow.
far, I've been to 35
Oh, my
cat
goodness.
cafes. Wow.
I've still yet to go to a cat cafe. You've been a few times, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Do you like him?
Yes and no.
Because you have to leave them? You have to leave them all
No,
there?
I like them because I get to play with kitties, and that's always fun. I don't like them because, to me, most of the ones I've been to are not near as sanitary as I would like for them to be.
Especially when they're like, hey, here's food and all these cats.
Yeah, it's a little gross.
Yeah, I get
And you can
that.
imagine if you have that many cats, how many litter boxes you need to have. It's just...
I try not to think about it, but yeah, your cat uses a litter box and then they walk on your counters and stuff.
Ooh.
I just don't think about it. Well, our cats don't get on the counters. They're not allowed on the counters.
You're one cat.
Now, yeah. But neither of them were allowed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But thanks for bringing up Hank. Now I'm sad.
Oh, gosh. Okay. And then Claire. Claire celebrated a birthday on the 7th. That's intern Claire.
Oh, my gosh.
So her husband, Connor, and then her parents, John and Lori, wanted to wish her a happy birthday. Happy birthday,
Great
Claire.
family.
Can't even believe we're here again.
I know. And we're still here.
Yeah.
Like, we've wished her how many birthdays? And, like, we're still here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
She asks, one
One day we're not going to be here, Claire. You're going to submit a thing, and then all of a sudden be
we're
like,
just
where's the
done.
Wally Show?
That's right. Connor, her husband, asked a good question. Do you have any funny stories of stuff interns have done while working on the show? We go through, what interns have there been?
Snorty McGee,
Yeah.
intern Richard, intern ridiculous guy we fired. I can't remember his name.
I do.
Intern Sparky McAwesome. Remember him?
No.
The redheaded guy?
Is that what I turned into?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sparky McAwesome was the
No.
kid that I had a huge problem with. Not the one that we fired, but Sparky McAwesome was the one I had a problem with. And he was just mouthy and didn't work.
Yes, I interned the same time with him.
Did you? And then
but I think he was doing it for school credit.
He was. And then he asked me for a recommendation. I told him absolutely not.
Right.
But I did say, if you build a demo, I will tell you, I will air check it and tell you how to build it right. And he ended up getting a job at a rock station here in Nashville, and he came back to me and was like, "Hey, man, I really appreciate your help. I was kind of a tool," and so I was like, "Good for you, man."
Now there
Awesome.
Yeah.
is one intern that you didn't list there that has stayed close to your heart for some.
Oh, intern
weird
Ryan,
reason.
Ryan the temp.
Why?
I don't know. He was always he was always like he drove Betty crazy because Ryan the temp didn't have to do anything. He just had to show up and be Ryan.
Yeah,
and I loved it.
he didn't do anything.
He did nothing. He was
and
useless.
Wally was like, "Who's getting his Christmas present?"
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, kid, and this was like 2 years after he left. This kid was gold. He was a gold mine though, because he would say dumb things, and you're like, "Oh, I love this." And he had he like you had a soft spot in my heart. Like I've kept
You're
you
putting me on the
around.
same
Yes,
level
I've kept
as
you around
Ryan.
for all these years. Yes. I know that he used to drive you crazy because Betty Rock, when she was an intern, Betty Rock would come in here and
Cared.
she worked hard and she
I cared.
wanted to be here. Exactly.
Yeah.
We drove by Goodlettsville the other day on our way up to Gallatin to pick up my desk on Sunday. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Betty Rock used to drive in here a few days a week, like to be here for free, to be on the show. And that was a long drive.
I could talk to that girl again. I'd
I
say,
know, but
"Turn
look where
your
you are
butt
now.
around."
No, look where you are now. It paid off. You hitched your wagon to the right, or your horse to the right wagon.
Did I?
You did. Remember the
Sometimes
daycare I
think
plucked
my
you out of?
I think my wagon is hooked to a really dumb donkey.
Of course,
Yeah,
that's
but
fine. But at least
you're
it's
still
going
here,
in a
though.
good direction.
Is it?
Yes.
Sometimes I
What?
feel like I have to keep reminding that donkey what the direction is.
What was it like
The
making
donkey sometimes wants to jump off a cliff.
What was it like making the transition from daycare to radio station?
Just going from itty bitty cute babies to grown hairy
Babies.
babies.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that was a good day, though. Like, when we finally were able to hire you full time.
That's awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
when you get to close part of your life, it always feels good. I mean, and it was tough because, I mean, the station back then, we had no money. We're like, everything was bare bones trying to get people hired, and we all had 15 things that we did and stuff. And so, like, to get you in was a big deal. And then the fact that you are the longest running person in this show is mind-boggling. We deserve each other.
I mean,
No, don't say that.
you're the second. I mean, at this
She was
point-
first.
No, I know, but even in the company, are you two the longest tenured?
Almost. I think there's
People?
one person ahead of us, but Betty
who
doesn't
would
count
that be?
because she wasn't full
No,
time
I know.
until a few years
So-
in.
So they don't
So
count those
silly.
other 2 years.
Yeah,
when you work
of-
for free.
of pain. Yeah.
And pain.
But
it
yeah,
was.
I think we are. I think.
Thank you.
Who's ahead of us?
Maybe Jim Marshall isn't. I thought Jim Marshall
No,
might
I
be. BJ
thought-
used to be. Steve was.
Steve definitely
but
was.
Steve's gone. BJ's gone.
Zach was here for a long time, but is also.
But Zach was 3
gone.
months shorter than her.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, she was here before Zach.
You guys are way of him.
We are way of him. We are the OGs. Oh my goodness. How great is that?
I don't know.
A lot of years. When you think about it, right? Let me ask you. Okay, when I think about my marriage, there are times
Great
that
starting
there are times that my marriage. I've been married for 33 years. There are times that it's like, wow, 33 years. That is a long time. And then there's times that it doesn't feel like it. You're like, oh wow, it's 33 years. It's crazy. It's blinked and you missed it. The fact that we've been here for 18 years.
She's gonna say it's. felt like
We've
that.
been in like just a couple different offices in all that time. I come in and I flip the light switch the same way every time for like 18
Drive
years.
to the same parking lot.
Yeah, park in the same spot.
Yeah.
Like you're like 18 years of that
It's a long time.
is unheard of. And I look at that though and I'm grateful because I work with people I like and
Interesting.
I know you won't reciprocate, so I'm bracing
Not
myself.
how the cookie crumbled for me.
I know, but like I still get to do what I love to do, and I've been here and had longevity, which I never had before. And so there are days, honestly. I mean, like if we're being fully honest, there are days that drive me nuts. Well, at any job, you have that.
Oh, yeah.
But then there are days that I'm just so unbelievably thankful and grateful, and it doesn't feel like it's been 18 years. They're like, oh wow, I could do 18 more. Not really. I'll be dead by then. But like, what does it feel like for you?
I would say that there are days where it feels like it's been 20 years.
Sure.
And then there's days where it feels like 18.
Yeah.
Holy cow, that's crazy. Time flies.
Yeah.
I will say this. I got to thinking, one of my goals in life, I remember when I was a lot younger. I was like,
To do something with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Sorry,
no,
ruined that.
When I was in my 20s, you know, my friends were starting to get married and all this, and they said, I told them, I said, my dream would be at some point, maybe not now, but in the future, I would like to meet someone, and whatever it is that he's doing,
Right.
I would stand beside him in and help him, promote him, do whatever
You've
it
done
is
that. You've
to help
accomplished
him
that
live
dream.
his dream.
Thank
okay?
you.
I guess I just wasn't as near as specific as I should have
That's right.
been with the
With the good Lord, you got to.
I should have said
That you were.
that I
A
don't.
married guy, yeah.
that
Yeah,
you were-
like a guy that I'm actually
Yeah.
attracted to.
Right, exactly.
A guy that's single.
Right.
Maybe 6 foot.
Right.
Like,
Okay, now
that
don't
would
get
be
personal
nice.
here.
That would have been nice.
It's a weird attack.
But I guess the Lord saw fit to say, no,
Yeah.
instead I'm going to give you a married guy
Yeah.
about 5'6",
Yeah.
and has a horrible temper.
Yeah, that
You're
you're
like-
going to help him with his
Yeah.
life.
A little bit ADHD.
Yeah, a
That we
little.
just found
A
out about.
little,
Yeah.
a little crazy.
Just a little.
Yeah, so in some ways, I guess I got my wish.
Your wish, yeah. Can you imagine if we
Yay.
found out about the ADHD thing 16 years ago, how different life would have been?
No, they
It
didn't.
wouldn't
That didn't
have.
exist
You
16
wouldn't
years
have done
ago.
a dang thing.
Oh, that's
But
right. Everything's the same.
Yeah.
you just would have
Well, it's
been
like
the same person.
I
But
can't
that's just how
imagine-
God made me.
because what are you like 17 years? Is
Almost
that the number?
18.
So
We're
it's
coming
like,
up
that
on
would
18.
be 3 times what I've done
Like
here.
even you being here 6 years,
I'm
that
tenured.
feels fast.
I'm tenured here, guys.
Yeah,
That's
like
kinda
that-
Cool.
That feels fast to me, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, because we were talking about this the other day, and it feels like you've only been here a couple years, which is good. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Time flies when
Yeah.
you're having fun.
That's right, having fun. All
Or
right.
when you're
Every
in a
day.
deep state of depression.
Yeah, there is that.
Just kidding.
There is that.
I like my prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the Stockholm syndrome.
I was trying to think
from
of that.
Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, I think we got to wrap this whole thing up, and we will do this again tomorrow. Thanks for being a potty.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water, and with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.